Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Introducing Managed PhishLine, End User Security Awareness Training. I'm Sarah Duffy, a marketing manager here at Barracuda MSP, and I'm happy to be moderating today's session. I am really excited to be joined by Jane Haggard, Program Training Manager here at Barracuda MSP. As a member of the Partner Success Team, Jane is responsible for managing the MSP section on Barracuda campus, creating training content, and creating the campaigns for Managed PhishLine. Also joining us is Justin Ridenour, Manager of Partner Services. Justin is responsible for creating and managing all of our professional services offered by Barracuda MSP. During today's educational webinar, Jane will be taking us through an in-depth look at Managed PhishLine, our fully managed end-user security awareness training service. Before we get started, let's do some brief housekeeping. During the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to share them using the questions or chat panel to the right of the Zoom webinar screen. At the conclusion of the webinar, you will be prompted to complete a brief polling survey. Please take a moment to tell us what you think so that we can continuously improve the content and quality of our online events. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Jane to begin today's presentation. Take it away, Jane.
Thanks, Sarah, and welcome everyone to the Managed PhishLine Email Security Awareness webinar. In the digital age, the security landscape continues to become more complex as we witness the escalation of security threats across almost every industry. In the past, hackers typically targeted an individual person or machine. Today, hackers target entire companies. It's become a security industry cliche that email is the #1 threat vector. Here's a recent data point. In 2017 Threat Landscape Survey, Users on the Front Line, conducted by SANS Analysis Program, for the top 20 threat vectors, 74% of the threats entered as an email attachment or link. Other studies and estimates have put this percentage as high as 90% or more. Clearly, email is a huge source of risk for modern companies. Almost every day, we hear about a new phishing, spam, malware, or ransomware attack. Here are some examples pulled from the headlines. These threats are a constant worry for small, medium, and large companies across all industries, from volumetric spam to regulatory compliance issues to CEO impersonation or business email compromise attacks. Email remains a target. So what is phishing? Phishing is the fraudulent attempt to obtain sensitive information, such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, often for malicious reasons, by disguising as a trustworthy entity in electronic communication. How effective is it? Very. It's been around for tens of years and still going strong. How does it work? An email that comes from a seemingly credible institution such as a bank, eBay, Facebook, PayPal, etc., it typically has an urgent call for action that will have you clicking on a link, attachment, or embedded file. Spoofing or masking of email addresses and links play a big role, so beware. Links to apparent institutional websites can be very convincing, so watch what you click on. Attachments may seem to do nothing, but may have keyloggers or crawlers running in the background or worse. There are a number of different techniques used by attackers. As technology becomes more advanced, the cyber criminal's technique becomes even more advanced. Email spam is the most common phishing technique. This is when the same email is sent to millions of users with a request to fill in personal details. These details will be used by the phishers for their illegal activities. Phishing scams involving malware require it to be run on the user's computer. The malware is usually attached to the email sent to the user by the phisher. Once you click on the link, the malware will start functioning. Sometimes the malware may also be attached to downloadable files. Ransomware denies access to a device or files until a ransom has been paid. Ransomware for PCs is malware that gets installed on a user's workstation using a social engineering attack where the user gets tricked into clicking on a link, opening attachment, or clicking on malvertising. While a good deal of work goes into these attacks, they are often fairly easy to identify, as long as you look out for the telltale signs. Look at the sample email here to get a good understanding of some of these. Note, because this is a broadcast email to hundreds, if not thousands of people, hackers will use generic terminology such as "dear customer," and often bad grammar, punctuation, etc. The reality is that the real company would be way more polished and not make these mistakes. And does it seem too good to be true? Lucrative offers and eye-catching or attention-grabbing statements are designed to attract people's attention immediately. For instance, many claim that you've won an iPhone, a lottery, or some other lavish prize. Just don't click on any suspicious emails. Remember that if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And is there a sense of urgency? A favorite tactic amongst cyber criminals is to ask you to act fast because the super deals are only for a limited time. Some of them will even tell you that you only have a few minutes to respond. When you come across these kinds of emails, it's best to just ignore them. Sometimes they will tell you that your account will be suspended unless you update your personal details immediately. Most reliable organizations give it ample time before they terminate an account, and they never ask patrons to update personal details over the internet. When in doubt, visit the source directly, rather than clicking a link in an email. Watch out for hyperlinks. A link may not be all it appears to be. Hovering over a link shows you the actual URL, where you'll be directed upon clicking on it. Be wary of attachments. If you see an attachment in an email you weren't expecting or that doesn't make sense, don't open it. They often contain payloads like ransomware or other viruses. The only file type that is always safe to click on is a .text file. And is there an unusual sender? Whether it looks like it's from someone you don't know or someone you do know, if anything seems out of the ordinary, unexpected, out of character, or just suspicious in general, don't click on it. So how do you protect your organization? With email security awareness training. Email security awareness training ensures your employees understand the mechanisms of spam, phishing, malware, ransomware, and social engineering, and can apply this knowledge in their day-to-day job. Effective email security awareness training uses different types of training to make sure that your users understand the various types of attacks. This is then tested with simulated phishing email to make sure that everyone stays compliant. Training is ongoing. By reinforcing behavior, you turn your users from a liability into a strength in resisting carefully crafted and difficult to detect attacks. This training allows you to assess your risk in a relatively transparent and non-threatening manner. With an ongoing email security awareness training, you gain peace of mind knowing that your employees are prepared and your business is doing everything possible to prevent security breaches. There are thousands of standards that your company might need to comply with. If security awareness training is going to be effective, it needs to be continuous, reinforcing good behavior. If you only meet minimum requirements, you leave your company vulnerable as employees quickly forget what they have learned and go back to old habits. Managed PhishLine email security awareness training fortifies your most critical line of defense, your employees, against these malicious emails. Every day, your employees sit on the front line of ever-increasing email threats like phishing, social engineering, and ransomware. Here's how it works. Our Managed PhishLine team creates the campaigns, manages the schedule, and generates the reports, freeing up your time. It trains your employees how to recognize the latest attack techniques and subtle clues, preventing email fraud, data loss, and brand damage. Yes, you've heard that right. Managed PhishLine does everything for you, creating complex phishing campaigns and producing the reports for you. This all saves you many, many hours each month. Managed PhishLine email security awareness training covers a wide range of information security topics relevant to today's security awareness content. Network security is often taken for granted, but your company's network is the key to productivity. Network security is a joint effort between the security team and your employees. Business email compromise criminals are gutsy and complicated. Cyber criminals will email employees and even call them, earning their trust. Ransomware works because humans are trusting and causes businesses to pay large sums to retrieve their data. Social media has made it easy to stay in touch. However, it's also made it easier for scammers to pry on unsuspecting users. Cybercriminals use social media to seek out potential victims. To get you started with Managed PhishLine, our first campaign will be a mock phishing simulation. This provides a baseline of how your employees currently respond to phishing emails. When you sign up a new company, they will always start off with this baseline phishing campaign. After the baseline email simulation, we then move into our 90-day security awareness plan. Your Managed PhishLine email security awareness training will include a combination of data sheets that have information on the current theme, as well as a video and quiz that will reinforce this training. A mock phishing campaign will provide awareness on employee behavior, and for those employees that click on the mock phishing email, there will be a secondary simulation and in-the-moment training. We have everyone follow the same training pattern. So if you sign up a new customer each month for 4 months, by the 4th month, your customers will be on 4 different campaigns. Before any campaign is run, an email is always sent to our contact person prompting you to check out your Managed PhishLine OneDrive location, which we will give you access to after initial kickoff call. Here you can become familiar with your campaign. After you've completed the initial baseline phishing, you'll move on to your first 90-day themed email security awareness training. The first month, you will receive 2 emails. The first email will consist of quick thinking newsletter. This training material is intended to highlight risky behavior for the current theme, as well as providing tips to protect your employees and your company. It is something that can easily be printed and posted in your office as a reminder to avoiding risky behavior. As you want your employees and customers to read this email, you let them know that it is something that they should expect to receive. This newsletter type training encourages users to think before they act, providing helpful examples and insights that make training and learning fun. It also covers a wide range of information security topics relevant to today's security-aware companies. There will be 1 more email you'll receive during the first month of each 90-day security awareness training. This will be a video and quiz. The videos have been created for today's time-pressed viewers. These engaging and informative videos cover the basics and more. Your users will receive invitations to watch training videos and participate in quizzes. Again, as this is training, you should let your employees know this is coming and that they should complete the quiz. The videos look at each theme and simply explain the various ways that criminals can disrupt your network by holding your financial information, customer data, or digital assets for ransom, and by downloading viruses and malware. The quiz reinforces the correct behavior that you need your employees to follow. The second month of the 90-day email security awareness training will be a mock phishing campaign. The most advanced attackers don't send the same email to everyone in your company at the same time. We will send multiple combinations of email templates, landing pages, email account senders, and web server domains within a single campaign. This will allow you to determine if users are more likely to click on a simple text-only campaign or a highly formatted marketing flip style campaign. Utilizing highly variable campaigns also helps train your users to recognize real-world techniques rather than just identifying a handful of mock phishing templates. Your employees will receive an email. If they click on it and download it, the images we will know. If they open the email and click on the link, we will report on that as well. As we are testing your employees, seeing who can spot a phishing email, you should not let your employees know that this is being sent out. Managed PhishLine email security awareness training doesn't recycle the same old training. We engage users with materials that reflect the newest threats. Managed PhishLine delivers training as soon as it's needed. For example, when someone performs an unsafe action as part of a mock phishing campaign, they report to a landing page for in-the-moment training. This transforms employees from an attack surface to a layer of defense. The third month of each 90-day email security awareness training will be a second mock phishing campaign for those employees that clicked on the previous month's phishing campaign. This second simulated phishing campaign is sent to only those employees that fell victim to the previous month's phishing. The goal of the secondary phishing campaign is to help your employees learn how to spot a phish. For anyone that does click on the link, they will go to an in-the-moment training page. It will have a link to a video for further training. Each month, we will provide you with detailed reports. Managed PhishLine will provide reporting after each video and quiz campaign and each mock email phishing campaign. Here, you will be able to see the progress of your employees. You will easily be able to see the employee and campaign name. You will see the date the report was sent, if a link was clicked, the image downloaded, or the recipient was out of office. We also report on whether the training was completed. To make it easier for you, the reports will be broken up according to your customers, and we can even customize the report with your logo if supplied. This allows you to use the report to discuss your customers' security awareness training at their quarterly business review. Managed PhishLine does the work for you. The only requirement from you would be to supply an address book for your client and to make sure the necessary whitelisting is done. So while our expert staff spend hours creating meaningful campaigns, you can concentrate on other areas of your business. To make the campaigns run smoothly and accurately, there are a couple of deadlines you need to be aware of. If your address book changes, you need to receive updates before the last Friday of the month to be included in the next month's campaign. If you do add a new customer, then you will need to make sure the relevant domains are whitelisted before the campaign is run. And we will have reports available in your Managed PhishLine OneDrive location within 2 weeks of a campaign ending. The bottom line, with today's advanced threats, everyone needs to get involved. Security awareness training is vital to fortify your most critical line of defense, your employees, against hackers and social engineering, and to protect your company's data and reputation. Managed PhishLine security awareness training lets you guard against these threats with ongoing meaningful training and an attack simulation. Thank you for joining us today, and I will now pass it over to Sarah.